But making headlines a couple of months ago, maybe about a year ago, but it kind of got somewhere yesterday. And tell you what, I mean, it was certainly not a Blue Monday for the Blues, aka Manchester City, as they defeated the Premier League in a legal challenge over rules about inflated sponsor deals from companies linked to their owners. The big question is how? Well, in a historic decision that could have far-reaching ramifications, though, for English football's top brass, it was ruled that it was unfairly prevented from securing two major sponsorship deals earlier this year. Now, the Abu Dhabi-owned four-in-a-row champions, currently facing 115 charges of breaking Premier League financial rules in a separate case. Well, they took the league to court earlier this year, and they also claimed that the rules brought in after the Saudi-led takeover of Newcastle United and also amended in February were very unfair. Now, the tribunal, whose decision was communicated, though, to clubs in a 175-page report on Monday, say that the Premier League's associated party transaction rules are in breach of Sections 2 and also 18 of the Competition Act of 1998 because they exclude from their scope the shareholder loans. And I think that is very, very key. Let's delve a little bit deeper now on this. I mean, it's a victory, yes, seismic as it is for Manchester City. We got on the line all the way from Manchester, is it? Yeah, Manchester City correspondent Ian Cheeseman joins me after, a bit of a while. I haven't spoken to Ian in a while, but this is a matter that falls directly onto his lap, I'm sure. Ian, always a pleasure having you on board. Good evening.
Evening, Robert. Always lovely to speak to you.
A lot of legalese that is here. In layman's terms, where are we as far as this case is concerned?
It's a good question. I don't profess to be a financial expert. I've obviously read a lot of what has been said by the Premier League, by City, in the documents themselves. And if I try to simplify it as I understand it, City, obviously, as a preemptive strike, decided to take this action against the Premier League because they were restricting the types of sponsorship that they could get from related companies like Etihad and Etisalat, two companies, of course, from the Middle East, from Abu Dhabi, that are also linked to the owner or the principal owner of Manchester City. That was deemed illegal or not allowed, because of competition rules. So arguably, City have missed out on some income and some sponsorship, and now are, in theory, able to take the Premier League to court to try to get some compensation for that. That'll have repercussions for clubs like Newcastle United, who have Saudi owners. And if you, from a distance, observe what they've been doing since they were took over, they've been fairly modest in their spending and in terms of the sponsorship they've had, because they've been scared, if you like, or anxious about the type of thing that City have been challenging. So it feels like City's win in this has now allowed Newcastle United and themselves, City, and any other clubs that have investment that comes from another country, state, whatever it might be, to have associated party sponsorship. So that will help them to release funds to go forward. Obviously, in addition to that, City have these 115 charges hanging over them at the moment, which are not directly related, but you can see an indirect relationship to it because, again, it's complicated. There are 115 different charges. Some of them, and I kid you not, relate to the length of the grass at the Etihad when City have played. They relate to City's timekeeping coming out for the second half of games. So of the 115 charges, there are some more serious charges. So the biggest single charge that everybody's sort of spotlighted, if you like, has been the way that Roberto Mancini, former City manager, was paid. I'm trying to simplify this, and these figures might not be right, but understand that what I'm trying to do here is just to explain it in a simple way. But one of the accusations is that Mancini was paid his salary by City, and because they couldn't pay him any more, because there is a limit on what percentage of your income you can pay, that he was receiving money from a club in Abu Dhabi, I believe Al Jazeera, who I've actually had the good fortune to visit and go and see their stadium, who are owned by the same owners, directly or indirectly. And he was a consultant, Mancini, for this other club, but did very little work for them in terms of time in Abu Dhabi or even time working with them. And yet the other half, this is the accusation, or certainly a large percentage of his salary, was being paid from this other club. So, of course, the accusation is that that was a way of manipulating the situation to make Mancini have a higher salary. So they're two unrelated things, but having taken this first action and won the action, you're quite right in the way you introduced it, because here in this country, some of the national broadcasters were saying that the Premier League had more of a victory than City had, because they counted sort of little minor parts of it in the argument. But you're right, City did win this argument. And the other side of it, apparently, in the midst of all this technical stuff, is that clubs like Arsenal and Manchester United, who arguably are the ones who've been the drivers, if you like, of this legal action against City, have been having soft loans from shareholders and owners at very low interest rates. And now the upshot of the legal action that City have taken is that that part of their activities is now under massive scrutiny, and as some people have said, in the crosswires of the Premier League. So this could backfire massively on the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United in particular, but other clubs who've been struggling financially, with big debts, etc., but have had very favourable debts, very favourable rates on those debts from their owners and from shareholders. So at the moment, it looks like this action may have backfired on the clubs who brought it in the first place.
Sure. Complicated. And I think what you've done is laid it very beautifully for us to have a mind's eye of what this all means. Because maybe let me bring in a third layer now, Ian, was the fact that there was now a little bit of what I call a love letter that was now sent by City, accusing the Premier League of misleading, the other clubs over the verdict in this, what they call a landmark legal case on the rules over commercial deals. So from the league side, they almost deny what that letter says and implicates them about. But from your side, is this a letter you have been able to see, and who's lying to who?
I've not seen the letter, but I'm aware of the accusation. And it does feel like I've said this right from the beginning, actually, as soon as the Premier League took another two separate cases, but as soon as the Premier League took the action out against City with these 115 charges, that there were going to be very, very serious repercussions whichever way this went. Now, I spoke to somebody over the weekend who's connected to somebody, let's say, very, very high up at City. It can't be much higher than this, who are very, very relaxed, very, very confident that City are going to win this legal battle. Now, the sceptics will say that's because they've got so much money that they can throw at it legally. But in reality, it's because they haven't done anything wrong. That's at least how City see this. And I just feel as if the Premier League they reacted, to Super League and various other things, and the pressure coming from, we call it the red cartel over here of Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester United, and have maybe not thought things through as strongly as they should have done. And there's already been this case with Leicester City, who were going to be deducted some points this season, and their legal team, who will certainly not be financed as richly as City's, shot holes in the Premier League's case against them, and it was thrown out very, very basically because Leicester City at the time they'd supposedly broken the rules were actually in the Championship and weren't in the Premier League. So that shows a very, very basic error by the Premier League. So Richard Masters and the people who are in the hierarchy of the Premier League, it feels like under massive pressure now, and it feels inevitable to me that if City win the case, which I'm thinking that they will do, I'm talking about the 115 charges here now, that not only will all of the top brass of the Premier League's heads roll, but there will also be a massive reshaping and rejigging of the way that the Premier League and football is structured in this country and maybe even in Europe. This is such a huge story. Obviously, it could be months before we get to the end of it, but when it does happen, this early victory for City has now set the groundwork for a complete collapse of the Premier League, it feels to me.
Sure. In just the 1 minute that I have, Ian, reputational damage would be directed to who?
The Premier League, clearly.
Yeah.
Although, of course, certainly so far, anyway. Obviously, if City were to lose their case and it was proven, and whilst I'm a Manchester City reporter and indeed a Manchester City fan, I hope I'm able to step back and look at this objectively. And if they are guilty and they're found guilty, then they should suffer the consequences. But equally, if City win the case, then the Premier League is brought into disrepute, and the whole action that they've taken is just completely unjust and unthought through, and could have massive financial repercussions, because all their legal costs are being paid by the other Premier League clubs. And if City win, could they can to sue then the Premier League and other clubs? This is a story that's not going to go anywhere away anytime soon, is it?
Let's let the FIFA week fly by, Ian, and let's get the football back in order again when it comes to club football. As always, Ian, I'm sure it's not going to be the last time I chat to you about this particular issue. Thank you so much for the clarity. All the best, and all the best for your team.
Absolutely. All the best to everybody in South Africa. Thank
you very much indeed. That's Manchester City correspondent all the way in the UK, Ian Cheeseman, joining us right here on #MSW. Right after the break, we come back. The champion is here, the champion coach, Raymond Mdaka. They've just come back from Mozambique. They clinched the National Under-20 Championship, Cosafa Championship, as they call it. We'll talk about the journey too. We'll talk about the journey during and the journey after.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Dance all the way home with these deals celebrating Samsung Store's birthday. Take home the 65-inch QLED 4K Q60D and upscale your entertainment for 14,999 Rand. Save 3,000 Rand. Plus, get a complimentary C-Series soundbar worth 2,000 Rand. Or get a Galaxy Z Flip 6 plus Galaxy Buds 3 for 26,999 Rand. Save 3,000 Rand. Valid now at Samsung Stores until 13 October 2024. T's and C's apply.
Are you blowing your paycheck on car insurance every month? Monica, 39 from Three Rivers, pays just 1,515 Rand a month for her 2018 BMW 320i.
None of the insurance companies has come near to the price I'm paying. I am happy at Outsurance. I'm going nowhere.
SMS out to 38923 now for a quick quote that could save you hundreds every month. That's out to 38923. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Starting route towards new adventure. Turn right. Recalculating. No deposit. Recalculating. Reduced interest rate. Recalculating. 48 months. You have guaranteed the future value of your Suzuki Jimny 5-door.
Arrive at your next adventure with a selection of great deals and a starting price of 429,900. Join the Jimny culture at suzukiauto.co.za. T's and C's apply.
Get more for even less with Spar. Shop red and save green with low prices on your favorite products and essentials. Like 5 Roses Ceylon Blend Tagless Tea Bags, 100s for only 54.99 each with your rewards card. Or 2 kg Salati Golden Brown Sugar for just 42.99. Prices valid until 22 October. T's and C's apply.
Bokkie, I'm home.
And now, what's all this?
What you mean? It's groceries.
But payday's only next week. And you've got Avos. Did you get an inheritance or something? Liv, you can tell me.
When you get a Nedbank Platinum credit card, there will be signs. Get competitive interest rates from Prime and up to 2% unlimited cashback on your card spend from just 99 Rand a month. So you can buy groceries whenever. Apply via netbank.coza or the Money app. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Big news! Deal or No Deal has awarded over 7.5 million Rand cash and continues to change lives. So, join me, Katleho, and stand to win up to 250,000 Rand by registering on dealornodealsa.tv. Catch Deal or No Deal weekdays on SABC2 at 11 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. and on SABC3 at 5:30 p.m. Proudly sponsored by Lottostar.
Lottostar is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Miguel Tim is my guest.
Oh man, I will never forget the time we won it for the first time. You got man of the match that evening and you gave such a beautiful speech. One for the archives. This time we did it for the third time. Back to back. We're going to Africa. So you'll definitely be playing, bro. Up the Bucks, champions! Yes!
Hey, you blushed there for 2 seconds. You remember the speech that she's talking about? What inspired it?
Joining the club and seeing the magnitude of the institution, the big following. It's crazy to think that people can spend their last money. Seeing the stadium so full, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Just like this past weekend.
Yeah. #MSW. #MSW.
Right, great reaction coming through straight after that interview with Ian Cheeseman. See on X, David M. Sileka Jr. Says that thank you very much for elucidating on the intricate legal intricacies surrounding the Premier League as well as Manchester City FC's ongoing legal standoff. He says your guest Ian's ability to distill complex legal matters into comprehensible insights is invaluable. Hey, David, what are you doing to us when I had to hold my jaw to get through those English words?
Hi, Rob. My name is Big Show in Zimbabwe at the moment. I want to comment about the MTN final. The officiating should be condemned. I don't even understand how that referee, I think his name is Tom, how he allowed the free kick to be taken 6 or 7 meters ahead. At least if it was behind, I thought he knew what he was doing. So it must be condemned. I saw even the panel that on extra time, they didn't condemn it, especially that guy, Pomozo Manenje. I think he wanted to justify things that are unjustifiable. I miss the show, the Big Show in Zim.
Oh, Big Show, thank you so much, all the way in Zimbabwe. As I said last week, but it's crazy how people are just listening all over the world. We're Istanbul, we've had Turkey, we've had all sorts. But we do appreciate you, wherever you are, that you're listening. And I know that South Africans do travel a lot, and they spread the word. Still talking about the MTN 8 final. Big Show, appreciate it, man. But I think the biggest show has to fall on one of the biggest trophies that I've seen. Hey, I think if you follow football and you know what the UEFA Champions League trophy looks like, you know, the big ears, this kind of almost. So if you're on the YouTube channel, please go on the YouTube channel. Coach has brought the trophy here with him, and we are so excited. I even said to him, I have never seen it, I've never touched it. And here we are today. We're getting a great honor. And I suppose, you know, the phrase that says that the future is bright, I think it's often misused. But tell you what, that's exactly the appropriate wording, though, to use when one describes the national under-20 squad known as Amajita. Now, the young, talented lads, they clinched the Cosafa Championship. They won by 2-0 against Zambia at the Campo da Abibi Stadium in Mozambique this past weekend. Hey, I'm not exaggerating, guys. It was a remarkable performance by Amajita. More so that when you look at the tournament in its entirety, they managed to net 16 goals. 16 goals in the competition. They didn't even concede one. Now, these goals came across 5 games, showcasing Amajita's solid defense as they now prepare for the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. And with this victory, Amajita have now won the Cosafa Championship 9 times, just behind Zambia, who sit there with 12 of these titles. Next up, though, is the man who spearheaded this, him and his boys, turning the focus to AFCON, a tournament. Yeah, we've never won it at this age level. I think we finished runners-up in 1997 as well as 2017. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. And without wasting any time, they come here as winners. So we have to. Amapagania yesterday, we played their song, Iole. Unfortunately, Amajita will have to create their own. Cosafa. That's exactly what we are, man. Raymond Mdaka is here, Amajita coach. That's the kind of welcome that greets champions. I know you're looking around, seeing everybody celebrating, happy. What's the feeling? What's the feeling, coach?
Thank you, Rob, and thanks very much for having me. It's a good feeling, honestly. Yeah, I'm also looking at the overall performance. I can talk about the final result, yes, but the overall performance will always give somebody a positive feeling of some kind, and we dearly appreciate this. But I will always take the credit to the boys. I think we did a very good job together with the technical team and support staff. We were one, and I think the unity that prevails assisted in many ways for us to get the kind of result that we ended up having here.
What was the main driving force, though? Because at some stage I felt a bit sorry for you because, you know, sometimes clubs, they have every right. You know, they don't release some of the players that you want. And I know it's not a FIFA week, so they're not obligated to release these players. So when you got a guy like Kumfundo Vilagazi who's not there, or Viwe Nkwali of Cape Town Spurs who's also not there, Unea Rapoe, Supersport United also missing, Aseko Tiwan as well of Downs. In fact, he's your captain, and he's also not able to come through.
You know, Rob, before we went there, some few days before we went for camp, honestly, I was more than frustrated. I remember I was attending the Talent ID course, the FIFA Talent ID workshop that was in South Africa. I met even with Simpuelu. She asked me, Coach Ray, how are you going to feel? What's going to happen with this kind of situation? Because obviously you have to understand it's not a FIFA calendar.
Yes.
And I was happy because most of the coaches, we spoke. I understood their situations. They explained to me, like the likes of Stellenbosch. They were playing the CAF and they were playing the MTN. They were playing the league, and they indicated because we had Langelihle Pili there.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you share with them, Sundowns also. And I was very glad. I must be very open. I even called Mangoba. We spoke. And he was very, very positive to say, my brother, I can't let you fail. I'll try my level best, much as you know that it's not a FIFA calendar, but I might not at all coast, but I'll try and assist you. So this kind of conversation, much as we could not get what you want, but the fact that we had these boys when we were preparing, remember when we went to Lesotho, we had the Neos, we had Diwani, we had Mfundo. So one was preparing, looking at everybody. Yeah, but one was quite a bit frustrated, but you said, no. It means you can't sit back and say, this is the situation, but how do you go forward?
But you did, and that's my question to you, Coach Ray, is that in as much as they threw all of these curveballs in your direction, to then go to a tournament with some of these players not there. And when I saw Shandray Campbell, the fact that he's there, having just recently signed for a big European team like Club Brugge, but he's able to make it, it said a lot to me.
Yeah, and with Shandray, I remember when we were in constant communication with the team, with the parent, the team manager was constantly talking to them. Then they said when we went to Lesotho, say, rather allow him to get into the team and gel with the team, but definitely we're going to give you the player when we go for Cosafa. And indeed, they did that. But you know what we did, Rob, was to say, we had a pool of players to say, much as you'll have your priorities, but at the same time you have players playing in the same roles with those that are not there. The fortunate part is when you prepare, you're not preparing only those that you prepare that pair in that particular position. So it was easy for them to fit into in terms of the roles and responsibilities of the players within that particular role. You could see we played our first game, which I thought in the group stage to say, Malawi. You see, we played Lesotho. We felt, with Lesotho, we know something, but Malawi, but this is what I always believe. It's you believe in how you want to do your things. And when you get in the field of play, much as you will want to see something about the opponents, but you believe in how you want to do your own things. But you could see in a few minutes, no, these boys are getting there.
So you're saying that Malawi you thought was going to be one of your tougher opponents?
Yeah, honestly, before we went there, when we looked into the group, it was Malawi, it was Lesotho, Comoros in the group stages. Then we felt, no, from a distance, this one. And you see with your Comoros, you don't even know what's happening because they are not like, but then we felt maybe. But after playing the first game, you always make sure that you don't allow them to drop mentally. So we keep it there to say, this is where we are and this is where we want to go. And it looks possible. So let's keep going. And we really did that.
I'm saying, though, when I look at your result against the very same Malawi that you thought was going to give you troubles, firstly, I mean, kudos to you, the team, clean sheet the entire tournament. But with Malawi, you guys were not nice. 5-0. I mean, you guys sorted them out. Proper. Comes Lesotho. Next game, 6-0. Again, brutal, ruthless, not messing around. And I think Comoros, you guys knew that it's a done deal. Just a little 2-0, didn't concede again, which was always auguring well for your campaign. But just that group stage, all of those games, I mean, high-scoring games, what was the feeling? What was the direction then?
You know what we did, Rob, is to say, basically, in the technical team to say, if you want to win a tournament, because a tournament is not like the league, the best thing for us is not to concede. But not to concede because of defending football, like kicking the ball away, but being able to be disciplined in terms of your movements, your organization. When we win it, we keep it, we play. You see, sometimes it gave us an advantage. We win the ball. When we win the ball, they think the ball want to go forward immediately. We kept it. When they come, they create space. So it worked for us. We're always working on what we see to say, this is working for us. This can give us goals. But at the same time, putting to the boys to say, much as we cannot concede, any opportunity that we get, let's go. Any opportunity, you never know in the group stages. So they will tell you there is fair play, there is second best, and others can do this result. So we didn't want that. We didn't want to have calculators. We said, okay, fine, let's try as much as we can in the group stage too. But the challenge, the serious challenge, I remember the technical team was saying, are you well? I said, no, I'm fine, because I was thinking too much. Imagine, Rob, playing 3 games, won all the 3 games, then you go to the semi-final, it cancels almost everything. You see, I remember talking to the TD was saying, Coach Ray, you see, this is the final before the final. You see, that's why when we played Comoros, much as we had 20 players, because Cosafa wants 20, you have got 3 goalkeepers, you have got 17, you have got your injuries there, so a bit of a headache. Then I was honestly worried about the Angola. To say, this Angola has won in the group stages. They are here now. But and this is the mountain. And once you qualify, you win that game, already you have qualified for AFCON. So, but we said, no, let's keep the same momentum. Let's go through with the same approach. And one thing that I liked with the players is they had character. They were brave. It's not like we won, everything was just flowing. No, there were times when we had to chase. But it ended up being like a nice chasing in the field of play. How we organized it was like, these guys are not feeling it. And we're feeling it, but the organization was okay. And I always give credit to the boys. It was quick for them to adjust. And we really enjoyed sometimes, much as you cannot enjoy during the tournament. You only start enjoying after.
And I think I need to repeat what you were saying. Maybe people might miss this because at times it was a busy weekend, MTN 8, there was refereeing issues. So people might have taken their eyes off your success.
Yes.
So to reiterate your point, Coach Ray, is that not only have you won the Cosafa Championship, you've also qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations 2025, which if, again, let me emphasize, you go on, either you win it or you clinch, something great there. You're off to Chile for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup.
Yeah, you see, if you could see my pre-match agreements that we created when we were playing Lesotho. It was saying preparation. From preparation, it's Lesotho. From Lesotho, it's win Cosafa. After Cosafa, you go for AFCON. AFCON, there is one there at the top. That's the World Cup, which each and every player would want to see himself there. So these are the kind of motivations that we're putting to them to say, look, guys, this is the situation. We can reach there. Who knows?
And you did.
It's about you. It's about us.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of attitude and that kind of behavior, that kind of motivation, with good preparation, who knows? We may even qualify for the World Cup.
Oh, guys, World Cup. My goodness, we need a South African team at the World Cup. That is all I'm saying. And that under 20s, historically, they've been able to do this. Coach Ray is in studio. Lots of your messages coming through to congratulate him.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and to the MSW listeners, and good evening to your guest in studio. I just want to congratulate the coach for the tremendous job he has done. I think they really deserves it, Mr. Marawa. I think the team is also blessed with a great bunch of players they do have in the team, Mr. Marawa. So kudos to the coach and the entire technical team for the wonderful job they have done. And not forgetting the coaches from their respective teams, Mr. Marawa, for allowing their players to go and represent the team. I know the coach also mentioned that. Yeah, well done. Thanks, Mr. Marawa. Then in Eswatini.
In Eswatini. Thank you so much indeed. Again, crossing over the borders. How do you respond to that message?
Yeah, you see, sometimes we may be looking at us now, we may be looking at the team per se, but I even look it beyond the team and ourselves. But I'm looking at the federation to say this kind of performance or this kind of situations is one, because football is not for us. Football is for South Africa, and it's a win for Amajita, but it's a win for South Africa as a whole. So we need everybody. We need the support. We know it's not easy. It comes easy and nice after you have won, but we need to rally around each other.
And
we need to talk. We need to share.
Times.
Yes.
I remember. So when you come back from the break, I want to find out a little bit how you handled a bit of that criticism, because people are saying, no, there's a lack of representation coming through from KZN, Eastern Cape, Limpopo in the team. So find out after the break what he did to rebut all of that.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Dear Journal, day 3012 of trying to be an adult. I'm learning little life hacks that make cleaning easier, like if there's lots to tidy and I don't feel like doing it, I just set up a Tinder date and panic clean. And then I hope they cancel.
Got evicted from the family home? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
Allergex Non-Drowsy has been relieving South Africans one allergy at a time. We're all different, and our allergies are too. This is why Allergex Non-Drowsy is available in both syrup and tablet form. All the sneezing, runny, itchy noses and throats, we've left no stone unturned. Our mission is simple, to help you live allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy. Ask your pharmacist about the Allergex Non-Drowsy range, brought to you by Adcock Ingram, OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Does your business need funding, as in yesterday? Did you know that with Lula, you could have the funds in your account as soon as tomorrow? At Lula, you can get up to 5 million Rand in business funding in 24 hours. Apply online in minutes with no paperwork, no collateral, and best of all, no hidden costs. Waiting weeks to get your business funded is so yesterday. Apply today at lula.co.za and make cash flow.
So why should I use We Buy Cars if I want to sell my vehicle?
Because We Buy Cars buys cars.
But will I get the right price?
Of course. We Buy Cars buys thousands of vehicles and knows exactly what every vehicle is worth. Their buyers deliver exceptional service and pay you immediately.
And how do I know what they'll pay for my vehicle?
It's easy. Visit webuycars.co.za or use the We Buy Cars app. Follow the simple steps and voila, you'll know your car's value in no time. We Buy Cars. Quick, easy, the best.
Pet Shop Science's 100th store is now open. And to celebrate, we're giving you great deals on top pet brands like Hills, Royal Canin, Montego, and more. Save 25% on any Hills dry food. Get 20 kilograms Montego Classic Adult Dry Dog Food for $429.99 each. Save 110 Rand. And save 30% on any 2 Royal Canin Wet Food 12-pouch multi-packs. Valid until Sunday, only at Pet Shop Science, the science behind happy pets.
That's Claire. Claire's at the gym, drinking a chocolate-flavored workout shake, thinking about how the chocolate-flavored workout shake might be the only reason she's at the gym. And Claire just got naked. Yep, she bought comprehensive car insurance right there while staring at the Stairmaster. It took just 3 minutes to sign up with Naked, and she didn't have to phone a call center because it's all online. Nice, Claire. Visit naked.insure now and get naked anywhere. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
There was a quick free kick, which is a controversial moment, not in a position where it happened.
On the refereeing front, Jerome, thank you so much for your time. Tell me, I had been enjoying that game so thoroughly. I'd resigned myself to extra time and the potential of penalties. All of those things that even Steve Barker in his post-match interview does allude to, saying that, it had been a great game. It's not, highlighting a refereeing mistake or a refereeing error. And kudos to him. He actually says, credit and congratulations to Orlando Pirates, who on the day were able to get their piece of luck.
Referees do make mistakes, and in this instance, it was a referee's error in judgment. If we did have technology would not have been able to intervene.
#MSW. #MSW.
All right, solid comments that are coming through on the YouTube channel. I'll get to those in a second. Coach Raymond Mdaka is here. He is the Amajita coach. Coming through from a great triumph in Mozambique. Unbeaten. Didn't concede. Scored 16 goals. What more would you want in football except to talk that beautiful, sweet story that we haven't been able to speak since, 2019? The trophy's here in studio. And I think a lot of you that are capturing all of this on the YouTube channel can see what it looks like. I think we commend the coach. He's here to talk about the experience. We commend as well the technical team that he took along with him. Renele Letsurunyan, one of them. Karabo Mukhodi, big one of them. The 2 assistant coaches. I say well done. Monet Crompton, goalkeeper coach. I say well done. Thabo Mnyamane, the video analyst for the group of players that were there. It's a beautiful team effort, man. And when I saw you give this mix of coaches, Karabo's there, UJ, with the varsity team, with the varsity cup. Obviously, Yeye, we've just seen him get his, CAF A license in Botswana. So much has been happening, coach. And these young brains are exactly what you need. So when you talk about the style of play that you ended up playing, I am not surprised because you love that type of football. Tell me more about your technical team.
Yeah, Rob, I think the names that you're calling are the names that we started preparing together. But due to some other logistics and challenges, when we went to Mozambique, we could not have we could not have Thabo as an analyst. We had Tinashe.
Sure.
Because we started with Tinashe, and then I also went with Karabo. The goalkeeper Monet and Tlhalefa, the physical trainer. This is my belief to say you always sit and agree and understand what is it that you want to do, what is it that you want to achieve. If you say this is my assistant, because I've assisted a lot in football, to say I must understand what we want so that you can assist me as the head coach. You see, we sit and discuss, and we also sit with the TD before our camp. I think when we camped here in March, when we went to Lesotho, sit with him, put it there, this is how we would want to play, much as it will not be exactly sometimes because of some challenges, and this is how we would want to play as South Africa. If you could look at how we played, I think there was a bit of difference with other countries because we also started playing from the back. We kept the ball. We under pressure, we could counter press, we could press, win the ball, keep it, and those are some of the things that we put into to say this is how we want to play. But coming back to the technical team, honestly, They were so helpful, I'm telling you. So helpful because we're all heading in the same direction. So if there is something that will slip off your mind as the head coach, the reminder is almost about most of the things that we've discussed. And it was quite so good, honestly. And I really felt the support. And I enjoyed the teamwork that we together did in Mozambique.
Bongani Vuma. Do you remember that name?
Who?
Is it Bavuma? Bongani is his first name. He says, Coach Ray, my former school teacher. So he's watching on YouTube. He's like, I know this man. That's my former school teacher.
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly.
Bongani, thank you, man.
Yeah.
You don't miss teaching?
It has been so long now that I do my teaching when I do instructorship, because remember, I'm also doing SAFA instructorship.
Yes.
Yeah, but, it's people would always ask to say teaching has got a bit of comfort compared to where you are. But, the passion and the love for this sport sometimes makes you feel you can do it. You really enjoy most of the times when you are into that. So I felt yes, I coached provincial teams, honestly.
Yeah.
I even won the under-17 Coca-Cola sometimes back. Those kind of motivation and the feeling when you are there. And most of the time that I spent there, just felt like, no, I can do it. Yeah, I really don't miss teaching that much. I do my teaching when I do instructorship.
When you're on the field. All right, Coach, you're going to hear less from me, though. There's so many messages that are coming through. People wanting to send their congratulations, but also, more importantly, their observations.
Good evening, Rob. Prince Obayeni here. I just wanted to congratulate the coach again and just say, in studio there, you've got a top coach. And I think moreover, what happens on the field and everything else, I think Coach Ray also provides the element of being a father and a mentor to the boys. And, at junior level national team, we need people like that can go beyond just the coaching, but also off the field. And I think that worked out a lot in terms of how the boys performed and the discipline. You didn't hear anything about that went wrong in camp. So that shows you the discipline and how things are run. So, you've got a top man there and a top coach, Rob.
Good evening, Rob and Coach Raymond Mdaka. Coach, I just want to congratulate you for winning the Cosafa Under-20 Championship. It must be great feeling. I just hope we also have a plan to qualify for Under-20 World Cup, because that's something that we haven't done in a while. But it must be stressful for you to assemble a starting 11, considering that you've got a huge pool of talented Under-20 players at the moment. Abo Offense Kosaa, Lukman, Jody, Mabena, Abo Lutlaku, and Smith, and Hopoleng Daunyan, who for me has got a very remarkable story from being a referee of the tournament in the 2020 engine tournament to being a great defender at the Cosafa. That must be remarkable for the young man, a great story. But I just want to find out the criteria that you used to select the captain of the team, Autata, for me, who I believe is a great leader. But I just want to hear your views around that. Thank you so much, and thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Sulfulang here, and good evening to the MSW Shoulders. If I can incorporate my reaction Monday to the question that I want to ask your guest, Coach Raymond Mdaka, congratulations. I've been checking the results. I've been checking the certain highlights of certain games. Congratulations to your squad, my good sir. I greet you in a more congratulatory manner. Congratulations, like I said, on the amazing feat, winning such a prestigious title. My question to you is this: based on the types of games that have been played leading to the prestigious victory that you got this past weekend, what have you learned of yourself as the coach, and what have you learned of your squad? And if there are some, can I say, weak spots, what can you do to better yourself as a coach and, of course, better your players ahead of the upcoming challenges that lie ahead for you and your team. Again, congratulations. Long may this continue, and long may we see the success of this team and you as a coach. Great show as always, Mr. Rapp. Thanks.
Good evening, Robert, and good evening to the coach there. Congratulations. As a proud South African, I'd like to say we need men like you. Keep up keeping it on. A quick one. Is there any cohesion, if it's the right term, between the under 17, the under 20s, the under 23s, and Bafana in terms of the coaching staff? Do you meet? Do you have a plan? Is there any succession plan or whatsoever in terms of promoting players? Good show as always.
Let's start there. Do you meet with the other national team coaches?
Yeah, I wouldn't comment much on that, but in the right way of doing things, what makes me happy is already when the under 17s are playing, I'm always there. And we're looking into the reality of football in terms of progression in relation to the age groups. So if we have a situation where an under 15 plays, when you go to under 17, we may not have the full squad of those who are under 15. Then you have got maybe a core. Then you go to from the under 17, just graduating into that process. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward into those kind of situations. But at the same time, this is what I normally sit and share with the boys to say, we don't want to put them under pressure to say the fact that we have played for under 20, it means we can play for the national team. Yeah. It needs hard work. It needs commitment, needs a lot of things. And also, they need to learn more. They still need to learn a lot so that they don't come across the wall. Because once we put them under pressure, we pick them, put them there, it doesn't happen. Think about their mind. The thinking level is not yet there to can be able to take all the challenges that are there. Then the ball goes boom out now. But we try to manage those kind of situations. And
I think a challenge for you, Coach, because of the lack of activity of the under 23s, in my eyes, is that is where your boys then get lost. And I really urge and I hope and I pray that you do get through and you do clinch the Cosafa. I mean, from post-Cosafa, you go on to win the AFCON, because we would really love to see a World Cup in terms of one of the national teams. And under 20 would be the most brilliant one. Because of time, let me chase you on the others. Hule Falang as well was saying, what have you learned of yourself? What are the weak spots that you've picked up?
Yeah, there are a number of things, Rob, to be honest. You need to... We grow through games. If I can't stand there and be able to see the challenges, after each and every game we do post-match analysis. I also do introspection to myself. Also do introspection to the team itself to say this is how we played. I think this moment we played well, but this one we couldn't play well. What happens? And all those are the learning moments. In particular, to be very specific, you see the calmness on the bench is very, very important. Sometimes it gets out of me because of the nature of the game. But that moment where the calmness goes off, then you react. And the decisions that one takes during reactions, when I look back, I say, no, I need to be more calm. I need to be... officiation. You see, there are referees officiating some of the... So those moments, you need to know that this is the game. You won't change anything at all. Being a coach as you are.
All right, let me go to what Tebogo was saying. Prince Obayeni, I cite you. I think it was more a case of a comment and saying that you've been a father figure for these boys and an important role that you've played. And I've got to salute Prince Obayeni as always, as I do. He's almost been our unofficial scout here in South Africa for the national teams, looking out for players that are South African or playing abroad that we might not know. He reaches out, and I think South Africa's national teams, Bafana, have been able to grow as a result of that. But let me say, Tebogo was asking, I know we might miss Andrew from Rudaport. He was asking a similar question to the previous one, but Tebogo was talking about you being almost stressful, given the pool of players that you have to choose from. And you were just saying that what is the criteria, especially that you use to select the captain?
You know, I like that question because I think I've been getting it a lot, mainly because of the kind of players, the pool that we have. But at the same time, I said that is a positive stress to me. Unlike a situation where you don't have. But in a situation where you have a pool, it's easy because it's about performance. And basically they know to say to the players, look, you put yourself into the team. You put yourself during games. You put yourself, will assist here and there. But you can be able to see, and much as you always give same advice, same approaches, and how to do things to all the players, but at the same time, you have got a better pool to say, if I can't have this, I will have this. But at the same time, it raises the commitment level, the performance level of the players on their own to say, don't take it away from them to say you can do as a coach. They also have to do something.
Ronnie says on X that we are very proud of Coach Mdaka, his technical staff and Amajita for their victory. He says, I urge the Minister of Sports, Gaten McKenzie, to give much needed support to all national teams alike because that is how we have under 23s Bafana in the first place. A quick question unrelated to your victory. You know your former team, Marumo Gallants.
Yes, I know that.
You know that when you guys came second in that Confed Cup.
I remember that.
The team got 13.7 million rand.
Unfortunately, Rob, I don't know on the side of the monies and whatever. I only remember the situations with the players and the games and the rest. But the other side was... It's not there.
So from the 13.7 million, they didn't give you a fraction of that. Okay, bye-bye.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
All right, tune in again. Tune in again tomorrow for Marawa Sports Worldwide. Why? Because it is brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
From the pitch to the podium, your all-access pass to the world of sport is right here. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.